Okay, we're looking at track number 2 now from Blues Jam Session 2, and this is a funky blues in the key of G. And I'm going to show you what the chords are, although we're going to be using kind of more funky licks to play the rhythm parts on this, rather than just playing straight kind of chord type things. But what I'll do is I'll give you them anyway, so that you can, just to give you an understanding of what they are. So the first thing we have is 4 bars of G7, okay, so that's going to be the same as the A7 in the previous track, just moved down a tone. Okay, then we're going to have 2 bars of D7 or D9, if you remember that we used before. Okay, back to 2 bars of G7. Then we're going to move up and we're going to play E flat 9, same shape as the chord that we played in the previous track and the one we learnt here. Okay, but all the only difference is going to be on the 6th fret A is going to be the root note. Then we're going to play D7 sharp 9, okay, which I'll just tell you what that is, which is 2nd finger on the 5th fret A string, 1st finger on the 4th fret D string, and then that 3rd finger is going to be on that 5th fret G, and then your little pinky is going to be on the 6th fret B. And then it's going to be, this phrase is going to be 1, 2, and that phrase is moving that pinky off and then putting this 1st finger barring across to expose that 4th fret on the B string. Then back to G7 for 2 bars. Okay, so that little thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, then back to G7. And it doesn't go up to the 5 chord. You know, like a lot of blueses go back up, this doesn't, it stays on that G7 for 2 bars. Okay. So looking at some funky ideas that we can use to play on this track. My first port of call for something like this would be like an octave shape. Over the G, like that. That's what I would do, something like that. Now the way I play funk is I actually catch it with the pick and this part of my finger. You see some people will do it actually with all their fingers. I'm not really that good at that. I find it easier to... I like to keep it tight, and I find by using that part of my finger and the plectrum I can do it. So I'll sometimes have a little figure like this. Then back to it. And then back to the G. Now another thing that you can do here is, I use this all the time and I think it's a really neat little trick. I put my thumb over like this and play 3rd low E, and my 1st finger plays on the 3rd low E, damping that A string with that part of the thumb. And then I kind of move on to this little bit sort of Joe Walsh style. I don't know if you've heard Funk 49, that type of thing. And then what I'm doing is hammering up to that 4th fret on the B, and then basically putting this 3rd finger on the 5th fret D and G for a sus idea, and then doing it again, and it's just kind of in. And the nice thing is you can just move this up. And down. Well, I should have gone to the E flat there, but it would have been. Okay, so I'm just mucking around with kind of regular blues things, but just using those ideas to stick to the format. So anyway, let's go once around the progression. I know you want to get onto the lead playing, but it's nice. I want to just mention a few rhythm ideas as I go with every track. So let's just get onto the track now and play along, and I'll give you some of these ideas to play over as I go. Okay, we're going to look at some soloing ideas now, and we're going to use the minor and sort of major pentatonic. Okay, now if you don't know those scales, you probably need to. So just the minor pentatonic is the one, the box shape here. Now, if you don't know the major pentatonic, don't worry about kind of getting messed up with that. Just worry about what notes that you've got to add in order to make this work. So it will be the regular scale that we did, and the notes we're going to add. It's just going to be that B note there, which is on the 4th fret G string, and the octave of it there. And we're also going to use this E note, which is on the 5th fret B string. Now, as opposed to the slow blues, this is going to be much more phrasing orientated. Now, what I mean when I say that, we're going to pick for specific phrases, and I think this is a great way to start you know, approaching this type of thing, because if you're playing to this type of thing and you haven't got loads and loads of flashy licks and you just want to make the thing sound good and make sense, then phrasing is absolutely the best way to do that. Because if you've got this kind of thing going and you're going and I sing a lot of my phrases when I'm playing live as well. If you're not on the mic, it doesn't really matter if you're not in the right key. It's just the fact that it's the phrasing that's important, because hopefully the guitar will get the pitch right for you, you know, providing your fingers are in the right place. So this is a bit of a difficult concept to explain without the backing track, but basically what I'm doing is I'm picking a phrase like there. So I've got got is our rhythm, and I'll go. Okay, then I might move that up an octave. Next time round I might change it slightly. Okay, but what I'm doing is I'm making very strong, you know, lyrical phrases that could almost be words, you know. You know. So anyway, I hope you're all laughing loudly now, but hopefully it's managing to get the point across. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go once around the chord progression, or maybe a couple of times around, using this phrasing idea, so you can get, you know, you can get a sort of a grip on what it is I'm trying to say. The point is I'm trying to do is I'm not going to be meandering up and down the scale like I normally do. I'm going to be really trying to play some nice phrases and repeat them, move them into different places, and hopefully make some sense as I go. Okay, so you saw me play lots of phrases there, repeat them in different places, and then as you start to extend your knowledge of the net, your knowledge of the pentatonics and the different scales, then you can start to use these phrases in different places. You know, like I did there, starting down, then there. Now I didn't actually use any of the major notes there, but I could have done. Okay, so just bear in mind, lots of nice phrasing, lots of strong melodic ideas, and that's the way to play over a medium funky blues like that.